This is the story of a young boy named Hubert. Hubert was a hungry lad, never quite satisfied with the food. Steak, steak, everyday steak. Most people would consider steak to be a gift. But to Hubert, no. Steak was not a gift. He yearned for fruit, for vegetables, or bread, or fish, or really anything that wasn't cow. He ate steak all his life, and there was too much of it. He could not bear it. So one day, poor Hubert, well, not so poor in our standards, he was a steak eater after all, but as he considered himself poor, he was so. Regardless, poor Hubert decided to venture the world for new and delicious foods. He stumbled across a green creature. It exploded! An explosion of flavor, he asked? But no. Dirt tastes sour in his mouth. But what was this he encountered? A delicious-looking spider! But no. String also does not taste very good. What else could I eat? Thought Hubert. Leaves? Trees themselves? Maybe the wood off a tree, the bark. Delicious bark? He obtained himself some planks. They did not taste very good at all. He continued to wander forward, wondering what sort of things he could find. He already knew that sheep were not edible creatures. All they ever dropped was wool. Wool was not very delicious. Until then. Later in the day, he discovered something. Brains! What did brains taste like, he wondered. But then he realized he had filled up on steak. He had filled up on steak earlier, and was no longer hungry. He had to work up an appetite by slaying these small birds. He then wondered to himself, I wonder what these birds taste like. Did they taste good? I'm not sure. I'm not hungry right now. The adventure continued. Hubert, searching the world, he had realized something. He had realized that, yes, while he was not hungry at the moment, he could work up a hunger as he searched, and then when he found what good items he was looking for, he could perform a taste test. He would wander and gather materials. He would do this all night and see what sort of things there were to eat in this world. As Hubert wandered, he stumbled across some bushes. Small things, really. They were... They were not as frightening as he once thought. Because yes, Hubert used to be afraid of the bushes. For he feared shrubberies above all things. But the bushes were not shrubberies. They were very basic things. But Hubert found this world to be very dangerous, and so he ate a steak. Not out of any desire for the steak, because as we already had found out, he was quite tired of it, but he knew he needed to eat to keep up his strength in the long battle for food, for better food. Oh! But there were small demon children that attacked him in the night. Demon children? I wonder what they taste like, he said. So he stole the brain of a demon child for later consumption. Because again, he's very hungry. It was a large forest. He couldn't see the forest for the trees though, so he got on top of the trees. He got on top of the trees and looked around. And what he saw amazed and confused him. For amongst the fields of trees and flowers and little pink piggy oinky things, he saw a person. He decided maybe they had something to eat, but they were surrounded by the exploding green men and dogs. Oh! He fought off one of the exploding green men, only to be bewitched and attacked by an evil skeleton. Afraid for his life, he ate some food and decided to give a bone to the wolf in the hopes that it would befriend him. It did not, however, befriend him, and just stared at him blankly. He continued along, however, regaining his strength as he went, and the person he saw started throwing things at him. They were not food, they did not taste good. They actually tasted quite horrible, and they hurt. Whatever these things were, they were foul creations from a foul creature. He spied a cow, but he would not slay this cow, any of these cows. They were no longer something he hungered for. He hungered for the fresh meats and delicious items of other things. He was quite afraid of all these creatures. Oh shit. Many things were going wrong. Oh. They were coming for him. The demons of the night? Oh. They were quite dangerous. He knew that his quest for food would be dangerous. He didn't realize just how so until he began on it. He was weak from lack of variety in his diet, although probably he was more weak due to the fact that he had been hit by some kind of vile thing, vile contraption of horribleness. And so, he constructed a dirt house in which to be safe. At least, so he hoped. Placing down a furnace, he decided to investigate what new and exciting things he had found. Cooked chicken. He wondered what this could mean. It smelled delicious, but alas, he was again full.